We'll now turn things over to North Carolina Attorney General Josh Stein.
Alicia, thanks so much. Very much appreciate you all convening this forum. Everybody can hear me fine, I take it?
Yes.
Thank you. The coronavirus pandemic is one of the gravest public health crises we have faced, and nothing is more important than keeping people healthy. For folks to get the health care they need, oftentimes they need health insurance. And what's been devastating is we see really unfathomable number of people becoming unemployed is just how many people in America have their health insurance connected to their place of employment. And so folks have been losing not only their jobs, but they will be losing their health coverage potentially. So one thing that I have been doing as the North Carolina Attorney General in partnership with other attorneys general is urging the president to instate a new special enrollment period for people to join the ACA, and for HHS and the president to do a much better job educating people who have lost their health insurance that they can enroll on the exchange at any time. So if folks out there have lost their job, have lost their health insurance, go to the ACA exchanges and see if that makes sense for you. Really, this just underscores how critical an issue it is for people to have health insurance, and why the Affordable Care Act has been so critical in improving the quality of life of so many people. Felicia, you did a good job at the beginning talking about its impact nationally. In North Carolina, over 500,000 people have health insurance through the 8 million seniors are spending $1,000 fewer to get their drugs because of the ACA. And then there are about 5 million North Carolinians who have a pre-existing condition. And the ACA protects those people from being discriminated against by health insurance companies, which happened for decades. And so the ACA has made an incredible difference in people's lives. There are 20 states that sued to throw the entire ACA out, to eliminate the Affordable Care Act. There have been about 18 states that intervened to defend that law, because we didn't have faith that the federal government would actually do the job it was supposed to and defend the law. And it turns out we were right, because the Trump administration has actually gone from defending the lawsuit to going to the other table to sue to eliminate the Affordable Care Act. And all of those benefits we talked about, all of those people who have access to health insurance, all of those people who are protected from discrimination because of pre-existing conditions, all of those seniors whose drug prices are lower, all of that is at risk if we don't prevail in defending the suit. It is currently in the US Supreme Court. It will be argued this fall. It's hard to really underscore how high the stakes are that my colleagues and I are successful in the Supreme Court. One word about drug prices, because that's something that is really important to so many people in terms of their quality of life, and the concern about how high drug prices are and what a big share of people's wallet it eats up just to buy their medication every month. One thing that I did yesterday was I sued, y'all may remember PharmaBro, Martin Shkreli. He had a drug company called Viera. They bought a drug that is a life-saving drug for those who need it, and increased the price of it by 4,000% by engaging in a number of anti-competitive practices. So I've joined the FTC in 7 other states to sue the drug company and Mr. Shkreli to lower those costs for the people who need that drug. Similarly, I've partnered with a number of states, a number of attorneys general from across the country, to go after 20 different generic drug manufacturers over the practices they engaged in for 100 different drugs that they engaged in bid rigging, price fixing, market allocation, all of which are illegal. And it's all about, for them, raising the amount of money they get out of your and my wallets. And it's illegal, and I will aggressively enforce our state's antitrust laws to protect North Carolina consumers. And be happy to take any questions, Felicia.
We are having mute problems here.
Mute
Sorry about
problem.
that. Well, thank you so much for all the work you're doing on behalf of North Carolinians to protect our health. Attorney General Stein, can you walk us through how you and your colleagues um, have, sorry, um, are helping unemployed folks? So many people are now unemployed due to this crisis and are at risk of losing health insurance. What resources are there in state to keep people cared for during this pandemic, and how are you and your colleagues helping folks know about these resources?
Well, we recognize that this is just an economic situation unlike any other. It will even be worse than the recession in 2009 and 10, and probably harkens back to the Great Depression in terms of what the impact is going to be. So, folks are really in a financial squeeze. One thing that I did was partner with the governor, Governor Cooper, and he issued an executive order which said that no utility can cut off anyone's water, power, or gas due to non-payment because of the financial crisis that we find ourselves in. And that's critically important because people need a roof over their head. They need to be able to have water in their homes to wash their hands. It's all critical for the collective health that people have homes and have water. It also, we've urged the telecommunications companies, the phone companies, the internet service providers, do not disconnect people for non-payment because they need access. They need the information. Their kids need to be connected to school. They need it for work. We've urged lenders, mortgagers, understand that your borrowers may not be able to pay you this month. Do not try to foreclose. In fact, I want to thank the Chief Justice, Sherry Beasley of North Carolina. She's put a stop on all foreclosures while this is going on. But when that gets reopened, it's imperative that lenders work with their borrowers, forbear the months that folks didn't have any income so that they can pay you on the back end, that you can work out a payment plan over a period of time where the lender can be made whole and it's understanding of the financial constraints that people find themselves under. The same thing for landlords with renters. We're urging them, work with your tenants, do not foreclose on them or do not evict them. And then with the telephone, I mentioned the telephone companies as well.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Attorney General Stein, for all of the work you're doing to minimize the damage of the coronavirus pandemic for North Carolinians. We really appreciate you joining us today.